This is Jason. Welcome to In the Simpademic and Saturday night, everyone. And I've got a lot to unload here, so let's go ahead and get this. Go ahead and get the show going. I want to talk about what to do if you think that you have run into the one, and I'm going to expand into a series of other points from that point forward. But here's my suggestion on that particular situation. If you think that she is it, treat her like anyone else. Because the only way that you're going to know that if she's the one is if basically she reveals herself to you. There's no forcing it, there's no changing it, there's no groveling, certainly no simping your way to it. But you need to, you basically just got to play out the way, in the natural course of affairs. Excuse me. And coming back to myself, I have had a series of dreams now for the past 5 years. And the general gist of it is she has to find me. And now I'm doing things right now to try to kind of put myself in a position where I can be easily found. I'm not saying that I'm just going to sit there in my house cooped up all day and do nothing and wait for her to magically appear. But I do have to do work in my life to make sure that I am in a position to be found. So bowling leagues, gyms, and things like that, if they haven't already regularly become a part of my life, they're about to be. But she does have to find me. And right now, if you're talking about on my socials, I see a lot of attractive women out there. But because of this and because of the way modern society has developed, I am operating under the assumption that they don't want anything to do with me. And I think the good Lord has given me these dreams as a means of protection. Because anytime I've tried to go out on my own and initiate, it has ended rather catastrophically. And obviously because I'm not Chad, I'm not Tyrone. On a scale of 1 to 10, if I'm being generous, I give myself a 5. And if you include my toughness, resilience, and basically ability to survive adversity, bringing that into a relationship, I might elevate myself to a 6. That's about as good as it gets for me. And I'm not Chad, I'm not Tyrone, I'm not the type of guy who's in that top 10% that most women will go for. And under those particular conditions, it is much safer for myself to assume that women in my socials don't want anything to do with me in that regard. Because most of the time, that's actually the correct assumption. Most of the time, I'm actually correct. And if it's not correct, they're going to have to say something, put on the big girl pants, and use their words. Because most of us are not going to go out there and chase anymore. Hence the name of this channel and the Simpademic. Men need to stop groveling, giving undue attention to these women. Because, first of all, it doesn't work. Second of all, most women don't necessarily merit that type of attention. And the ones that do are already wifed up. So, I operate under that assumption. Now, if you find yourself smitten with somebody, again, my suggestion to you is to simply treat them like anybody else, because they have to reveal themselves to you. You're not going to be able to force that. You're not going to be able to change it. No amount of groveling, no amount of simping is going to change that. You have to be cool, calm, and collected. And allow them to reveal themselves as interested in you. Because chasing not only does you no good, it can also turn you into the stalker or harasser that most women label most men as. You would become that for real. And you don't want that. So, for the time being, I'm operating under the assumption that most women out there don't want anything to do with me. And if that's different, then she's going to have to say something. Because it's too risky for men in this particular environment. It's like, what's the worst thing I've seen in many women's videos? Well, men need to take their shot. What's the worst thing they can do? They get rejected? No, it's not the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing that can happen is you could get falsely accused of harassment, labeled as a creep, or even worse, become subject to the criminal justice system under false harassment charges, which unfortunately these days happens on the regular. So it's not worth risking our freedoms to do that. Now, the thing about being in the purple pill category is that while I do want to protect myself from these particular consequences, I am not entirely, the door's not entirely closed to future relationships for myself, even at age 52. If she just comes along and just completely just steals my heart and is just mind-blowingly awesome, I will take that as my clue from the same God that has the dreams in place to protect me to take that as a gift. So anyway, that is my particular take on my future and women, and not pursuing, but instead allowing life to happen and coming to me. So anyway, that was a lot to unpack and do in a hurry here on this rather cold and blustery Friday night, or Saturday night, here in exurban Minnesota. I'm about ready to have some dinner, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for bearing with me here with the 2-episode day here at the Simpademic. Stay safe, stay sober, and don't do anything stupid. And also, be kind. Thank you so much, folks, and have yourselves a blessed and fantastic weekend.